Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome to day 22 of my vlogs. So today I'm going to jump ahead in the story a little bit and get back to where, where I was before I started talking about what happened in high school for the past two vlogs. So while Chrissy was away, back home, like I said, I definitely started to worry. I started to think that, that this was hopefully going to be a lot better than what happened between me and Asuna in high school. And I gotta point out, if you watch the last 2 days, if you notice me looking to the right a little bit sometimes, if you, obviously you can't see what I'm looking at, but, I have the window to my left, like my computer and stuff to my other left, or to this side, and, the reason I was looking to the right the last couple of days is because I have a picture of my confirmation group to my right. And, I had thought about just being here's a picture while I was vlogging the last 2 days to show you, but I'm definitely a lot more open to talking about what happened between me and Asuna than what happened between me and Chrissy, but I still don't want to talk about it, especially in front of potential people that don't really know me. If you do, then you're definitely welcome to knock on my door and ask me. But anyway, so I had been pretty worried. So while she was gone, after a couple of days of thinking about worrying about what happened or what might happen, I started really thinking about what would happen in the future. Not even just what was going to happen when Chrissy came back from Georgia, but what was going to happen in the future. I never actually thought about it up until that point. Before that, maybe I thought about it once, but most of the time in '09 I was after I'd met her, I was just alright, whatever happens the next day happens, and I never really worried about what was going to happen months down the road, years down the road even, until then, until Chrissy was away and I had really no one to talk to. Even if you know me, something that I've never really talked about is the fact that when I'm alone, when I'm just by myself, sometimes when I just lie in bed, I'll think about a lot of hypothetical situations. I'll think about a lot of stuff that could happen in the future, and sometimes I like to think positively, sometimes a lot more often I think negatively, and I think that's what was happening at this stage. I guess you could really attribute it to just me being pretty lonely. Without Chrissy, I really had no one to talk to. I had no one to talk to about these kind of things, so I guess you could say, reverted back to what I was before I met her. And so, to jump ahead a little bit in the story, by the time she got back, about, I think it was a few days after New Year's, which I'll get to in another day, I guess I decided that, for me to be okay again, that we needed to talk about it, that I had to tell Chrissy about, you know, I guess everything really. So, when she came back, like a few days, obviously not the day after, a couple of days after she came back, we went to a park. I'm gonna spare you the details of what park it is because it's not really necessary to the story. It's pretty close by to where I live, but especially for people that don't live here that's watching this, it's not important. But so, we went to the park and, we just started walking and started talking. And I was just, that's when I finally told Chrissy. I was like, first, obviously, we talked about, whatever happened like with her when she was in Georgia and what I was doing while she was away, and maybe not even that long into the conversation, that's when I finally just bluntly stated, I was just like, do you think that we, how do I state this? Or how did I say this? Do you think that we're gonna last? And I remember her just doing a double take after I said that, and she's like, like, what do you mean? And I know it sounded weird, but I was like, do you think that we're going to be, not necessarily standing here, but you think we're still going to be together, like, in, say, 5 years? And I remember her just being like, just giving me like a really confused look, and I don't blame her. I mean, if the roles were reversed, I'd be confused too. But she was like, she just had that look on her face. She was like, what the hell do you mean? And, I'm pretty sure she could see that I had been thinking about this for a while. So she was probably took her a couple of seconds, but then she was finally like understood and like where I was coming from, and she was like, she asked me, it's like, what really happened when I was gone? And so, like, I thought about not saying anything, but I remember what happened last time when I didn't tell her about something, so I just was like, okay, fine, and I told her that, I had thought about, when she was gone, I was pretty miserable, that I was pretty lonely by myself, and that I had started worrying that what happened between me and Asana would happen between me and her. And I think that's when it finally clicked, and she's like, when she finally understood that, I think I was just really scared that I was going to lose someone kind of, or a lot closer than even Asana was to me. And, at first she's like, she tried to reassure me, because when I said that, I was pretty ready to, I'm not going to lie, I was pretty much ready to cry. If you know me, then you know that I'm not a very stern person when it comes to crying. I'll cry at a lot of things, really. Not a lot of things, but I'll cry at like pretty random moments sometimes. And, she tried to reassure me at first. She was like, that's not going to happen. That's completely different from what we have. But then, like when we sat down, we started to talk more about it. We started to think more about the long run compared to just what was going to happen the next day in regards to us. And I remember her just going from, that smile when she said that, she was going to that everything was going to be okay, to a little more neutral face, and her just being like, to be honest, I promise that I'm going to do everything I can, for us to stay together, but I can't tell you that we're going to be together in the future. I can't even tell you if we're going to be together through tomorrow. She was like, who's to say that we don't have a fight tomorrow, that we don't break up tomorrow and then eventually we start becoming friends. I mean, I don't want that to happen, but I can't tell you that. And I remember that just being, hitting really close to home. I understood what she meant. And I didn't take it personally for her to say that, because I understood where she was coming from, and that was true. But it's funny, in hindsight, those words could never be further from the truth. Or closer, I should say. I mean, neither of us really knew it, but we were definitely going to be tested in the coming days. And I hate that. I always have to hint at that, and that I know that I'm getting a lot closer to the end game and to the end of this story now. And I always say that it definitely doesn't end happily for us. But yeah, that's probably about all I'll get to today. If you've been following along from the beginning, thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you just started watching today, I mean, that's cool too. I don't mind that. It's kind of weird to start on a day like this, but definitely hit like if you like it. Share this video if you think there's someone that that would like it, and thanks again, like I said. Until next time, see ya.